hub motors. And Ray found these online and got 2 of them for $40, which is cheap. They're normally like $25 a piece at least. So there you go.
Man, that's heavy. That is a heavy wheel right there.
Is it a one-off,
That's-
or is it, are there more available at that price?
They're more available. They sold like 500 now.
You drop this on your
Where
foot,
is
you
it?
break
It's
your
on
foot.
eBay.
Want to see it, Kenny?
You probably want to listen to my story before you buy one, though.
It's me.
No, I know about. I've been looking into them for a while.
Well, no,
Use that as
there's
a-
the rest of
a
the
weight.
story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a good 5 pounds.
It's at least 5 pounds.
6.7 pounds, 6.71 if you want to get picky.
It's pretty powerful. It's like
Good door
6
stop.
pounds,
watts.
7 ounces, excuse me.
Almost. That is a solid. Look how solid it is.
It ain't no cheap around us. I was shocked as you were when I got it in. And those 2 came in a box, and it was a first class.
So you think, oh, this is going to be easy. You lift it up.
And I reach out and go,
That's 15 minutes. I'm going to throw my back out.
yeah.
That is a solid wheel.
It is.
So
And those-
is the motor inside there?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think they're.
And a gear box of sorts.
And encoders.
It has Hall
Hall
sensors.
effects, 3
They're not-
Hall effect sensors, yeah.
And neatness.
Yep. It's easiness anyway. If, you just, all the mechanical nightmare I was going through and alignment crap is gone. You put the bucket on there and you're done.
It does all the work in there.
All the mechanical stuff's done.
Yeah. Very nice.
So let's see. And
You know, the wheels that I've got, or that I gave to Frank, I don't think they're that heavy. I don't think the whole entire frame is that heavy.
Well, those are made for hauling a, person around on a hoverboard. So,
Well,
and I think it's 200 pounds.
what I had something called an electric chariot, which was basically a fake stand-up Segway.
Segway.
It had 4 wheels on it but it had 2. They were either 10 or 12-inch wheels with the hub, with the motors in the hub.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, the thing was plastic, the body was plastic, but the frame was metal.
Mm-hmm.
It probably weighed 40, 45 pounds. But, that wheel's most of the weight.
So this is a hoverboard wheel. I got it clamped down right here. It's a 36 volt, 350 watt brushless motor.
we lose the audio up there too.
The speakers are,
And there's the Hall effect sensors. Basically, I got a 20K potentiometer that controls the output to the motor. And I don't have a heat sink on here, so I gotta be careful not to draw too much current. And I'm also only using 2 lead acid batteries instead of 3, so I've only got 24 volts instead of 36. Hopefully this, see this move turns on. Okay, I got this hooked up. Right now the pot's turned all the way off.
And it looks suspiciously like that.
It does.
Turns on.
It looks identical.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much all the hoverboards have a
Same.
wheel like that, yeah. And they're making crap loads of them.
Or that, yeah.
I noticed couple other designs, but it's probably
Yeah.
the same outfit or similar outfits.
There's one off-road. I've seen one with an off-road tire on it.
How am I gonna do this? Yep,
That sound familiar, Leroy?
That's way faster than overrun on
Hey,
hoverboard.
Vicente.
all right, let's try this again. See if I can get the motor.
Did you get a taste of this?
Oh, yeah, I got to
Yeah.
Turn
Yeah.
just a small-
Pretty light, isn't it?
He said, wow, yeah. There were two of those in the box. They came in a U.S. Postal first class box. It's that standard
Yeah.
box they use. And I picked up both of them. I went, "Ah."
If you bend it down too low, like you say, you throw your lower back out. I like it.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
that's just about
I'm already
I need
watching
one
that
from
eBay
the-
item.
You could use that as a doorstop too.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
If you had a
how are you
boat,
moving?
Yeah, no.
Today, MCN delivered the last stuff.
Yeah, I saw.
What's it?
It's a sad day.
I saw that the back order was lost, you know. No?
Holy shit, that's a lot of torque. Let's do it again. Oh my god, it's gonna jump out there. And I don't have much current.
Now you need a drill press to check it.
I got a drill press. I needed those grips and I ordered
I rather
some.
it's a bench press, you know.
That was the best part of this, actually.
Oh, look at the little puppy.
So, in fact, Ray sent me a link to where I could get those vice grips for the drill
They
press.
are new.
Huh?
Just new.
Yeah, looks new.
Good decision.
So how much?
$20 each or something.
2 for $40.
2 for 40?
That was one of the better
Very strong,
prices.
Very.
Now, these are on the hoverboards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the ones that burn
Now,
up?
these are, I think, 100 horsepower. The battery is below, but you
So
don't have any
they
battery.
did, a few. I mean, it's not like they all did, but.
A little, some.
I guess they had a big problem a couple of years ago. I think they had one on TV
But
recently.
now there is a lot of models in the USA.
But this one doesn't look used at all. I mean, it looks a little dirty, but not much. So that was that. And this is now. Okay, the wiring
You are
diagram.
waiting for the driver, right? For the board.
Actually, the board, the driver came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Came in like yesterday, unfortunately.
Before you expected.
Yep, faster than expected. I got a second one on order.
You are buying two? Two of them?
Yeah, I got a second one on order, and I didn't order them at the same time. I ordered one to see if it'd work, and then once I figured that out, then I ordered the second one. And so here is, Ray sent me a thing for the tool to order it from eBay, and then I got to looking at the rest of it, what he sent me, and the second one was Harbor Freight, and it was $13 from eBay and $8 from Harbor Freight. I'd already ordered it from eBay,
Wow.
but they canceled on me
So you got
because it
the
was
better
damaged.
deal.
So I'm off to Harbor Freight now for the $8 one. Okay, so let's look at this one. No, that's not the one I want to see. When did that one come up? Now we're asking a lot of these guys. I think I'm asking a lot of this Chromebook to try to put this up on the screen, and me switching back and forth and putting that on the screen. I'm just amazed that this even works.
You're just a computer juggler guy.
So here is the potentiometer. This is actually, I had a 20K because that's what the guy used on the original. It's a 20K, it's a motorized pot. So I have to not wired up the motor. Here's just a breadboard to connect the pot up to this and jumper some of the pins together. And let's see, need a bigger picture. And there's the wheel, of course. And this is the driver board. Okay. The driver board's got that connects to the 3 pins for power. This, they call these 3-phase DC motor. And then the Hall effect sensors.
It's for the feedback.
Sir?
It's for feedback. You can
Yeah.
keep them unconnected, right? And it will also.
I don't know if it will with this controller,
Okay.
but supposedly if you don't use the Hall effects, you can use the EMF feedback from the unused coils.
Yeah, but it's more.
Because, you know, if you just step it, you may not know the direction that it's going. You may not.
Maybe a more sophisticated driver to sense the current.
It's got 3 though. You should be able to know the direction. That's true. You
I
may.
know, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
You have 3 square waves, like a 3-phase power square.
Yeah.
You
Should just
can
step
change to anyone. You change the direction.
Okay. And if you're going the wrong direction, you can just switch the phase.
Yes.
Now the next question is, with this configuration and this controller, can you do both directions? And how would you do those directions?
I think that the feedback is to change the current, not the frequency, because it's a synchronous motor. You know, it moves synchronously with the shape, with the wave shape.
Is
The speed
is it speed that you're setting?
no, the speed is setting with the square waves, with the frequency of the square waves.
Okay.
But if you try to stop the wheel,
The current goes up.
yeah, and you need to increase the current to maintain the speed,
Okay.
because he will notice that there is some slight
Decrease in speed.
Yeah.
So you think it's speed control?
He cannot change the speed, increase the speed, changing the frequency, just increasing the current, because the frequency is.
The frequency is controlling the speed.
Yeah, but the feedback is to
Adjust the voltage.
yes,
Adjust
to
the
maintain
current.
the movement.
Okay. So you're adjusting, what he's saying here is, on the stepper motor, you're putting a flat, same voltage on every time.
Yeah.
With this sort of motor, it's wired a little differently, it sounds like, than the stepper motor. When it's totally stopped and you're telling it to 0 speed, there's 0 current, supposedly. Okay. But as you increase the speed, it's going to step. It's going to be a constant. If you're going to go 1 mile per hour, it's going to go through the step, whatever it takes to get 1 mile per hour steps. But if the speed starts to drop off, it's going to increase the current.
To keep the pace with the
To keep it locked up. Okay, I got you. So if you didn't have the speed sensor,
will be open with low loads. There is no problem, because he don't feel that it's getting slow or nothing.
It wouldn't be jerky.
Huh?
It wouldn't be jerky if you took the.
it depends. If you overload it, it's.
But you will be wasting energy, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
He can reduce the current to maintain the movement, and
Yeah.
he didn't, because he don't know what's going on.
Now, also, you know, you see what they're saying about some of the motors use counter EMF. They're getting off the coils that are off the coil that's not energized.
Mhm.
You're doing one at a time.
Mhm.
Okay. You can measure the voltage off the coil and determine which direction it's moving.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. And the speed.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting.
But it's a more complex controller.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got a Arduino. With an Arduino, we would have to
but you need to measure current
Or voltage.
in a floating H bridge, you know. It's a little
Yeah.
complex.
It's gonna be sticky. But you could stick all of the outputs, all three of them, into an analog input.
Mhm.
And you should be able to get something. But
But the voltages are very strange, you know, with respect to the ground of Arduino, will be plus 12, minus 12. You need some operational amplifiers to
Now-
move the voltage and the,
now it's only going to be plus 12 on this one, right?
yes, but the driver is, H driver is changing the direction of the voltage
Okay.
completely.
Yeah.
It's like a floating battery that you move. You cannot reference this driver voltage to the
Well,
Arduino
yeah.
one.
Well, here's one thing. Here's one way to look at it. If you measure all three wires, and if you see 24 volts, you know that one's on.
The problem is
Oh, the other one's not really effectively connected.
will be negative voltages. In the
It's,
Arduino.
yeah, because it would be a back voltage across the diode. So I see what you're saying. Is there going to be kickback? Are you going to see it?
It's complex.
Uh,
Well, Texas needs to make chips that you can put in the driving side, and they isolate the measurement from the controller.
okay.
Did
Now-
you bring your controller? Did you bring the controller with you? Do you know what kind of controller it is?
Well, we can probably
Sure,
find
it's-
out.
One of these cheap ones on eBay.
Looks like it blew up.
So it looks like the standard cheap ones have a control input for reversing the direction. They call it the ZF input.
Oh, okay.
Connect to 5 volts or ground to change the direction.
Okay, so it has a reverse direction. Now, if I can get this thing alive again, let's see, we'll kill that. And I'll try to cast again.
Excuse me.
We're coming up again. Okay. And let's see if I can get my, okay. Okay, we didn't want to see him again. Okay, did I live? Looks like I may be alive still. No, it's not showing up there.
It's because you're only sharing one tab.
Okay, we'll have to disconnect that. Cast.
It's
Here, Frank. Hey, Frank, how's it going?
Cast. Okay. Cast to do that.
I'm gonna get a hernia.
Yeah, that's what we said. Okay, we're gonna do a stop. Okay. And then we do a cast to desktop, that, and share it. And we're good. And so I go up here,
Okay.
here, and we do photos. Okay, Got to go to the internet for those, so sometimes we have slowness or stoppage, which we're blaming on the library.
Yeah,
There you go.
blame it on somebody.
It ain't me.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, here we go. And this is, we were explaining my configuration. And there it is. This is a pot. There's my breadboard for the pot. Going over here, there's where the control goes in. And it supplies 5 volts off of the controller board. It has 5 volts. It will bring to you 5 volts. And that's good. And then you got the 3 wires going to the motor. These are your, they call this a 3-phase DC motor.
3-phase DC.
Yep. And then those are your sensors, your Hall effect sensors for speed. And what Vicente was pointing out is that it does speed control based on the pot setting, based on the voltage. And the speed control is strictly stepping, like a stepper motor, effectively like a stepper motor.
Does this turn like this?
Yes, the shaft is held in place and it turns like that, the whole thing,
Including,
except for the shaft.
including the harness?
No.
No, the shaft, the harness doesn't change.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
You clamp that tube. And
Is this fixed and the wheel turns? Is there a stepper motor in here or something?
yep,
Brushless motor.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
this whole, if you look there, coils all the way around the inside of this wheel.
Okay, I got it.
And it's a permanent magnet in the middle. So it's stepping through, it steps at a frequency that you dial, and then it also has to adjust the voltage for maximum efficiency for the speed that or the amount of torque that you need. If it sees that your speed is trying to slip some, it jacks up the voltage or current, so that they call these more efficient. These are more efficient motors than the old style motors. And
And what is this?
Because you're
going-
not like you said, you don't waste the energy.
Of course.
What is this going to drive?
trash can transport.
Oh, new technology.
So here's the whole thing. Everything's wired up. And that's the motor running there. That's the wheel turning right there. I'm adjusting about 1.66, about 1.6 volts is where it starts. And that's 4.67 volts there. That's maximum voltage. It's starting all over again. Or maybe that's the next. Okay.
You're controlling the direction also?
No. He's saying there's
Another pin, additional pin or something?
there's a pin that controls the direction. And I did several of these. So it starts about, that one looks like a dud. But about 1.6 volts is where it starts. And it goes up, and really about 1.6 to 1.9. And that's the full range of speeds. And yeah, I can tack it on up to 5 volts, and it really actually slows down a little bit when you get the voltage up higher. But that's the name of that tune. That's how it works. The controller board. Let me go to my folder. That may have been what blew me up, the folder. I noticed all the folder stuff's gone. Actually, I can go to it from over here. I'm starting to use bookmarks to go to my folders. Let's see. We can go to propulsion and control. And we can go to hardware. Because you asked about the hardware. Control the BDLC motor hub. There's the JTAG. And there's a controller.
Yeah, so that pin labeled ZF is the direction control.
ZF, this one?
Yep.
Okay, so that's on the, that would be where the potentiometer is connected.
Yeah.
And that pin is jumpered to GND.
Right.
And
So you
in
connect
his
it to
diagram.
5 and it'll go the other direction.
Okay, so you bring it up to 5?
Yeah.
You have to pull it out, it's pull up. Okay.
Well, I don't know if you need a pull up, but that's what the eBay documentation says, connected to 5 volts for the opposite direction.
Go the other way.
Okay. You got the
That-
eBay
that
docs
makes
on
sense.
that?
Well, just one of the, I just looked at one at random and it's got some,
If you got some info, send me a link to that. If you ran across some
Yeah.
info on what the wiring is for that card. That's the card, it's misleading. The card is like this. It's an itty bitty thing. It's, like 2x3 max, probably 1.5 by 3. It's a little bitty thing. Those are capacitors right there. See the transistors there are small boogers.
How much did that cost? How much are those?
$10.
Yeah.
Unless Vicente's come across.
some of them come with heat sinks. So you're not gonna want to put any real torque on that motor without a heat sink on those transistors.
Yeah. Yep.
But some of them, some of the units come with the heat sink. So.
Yeah, but they're not $10.
There was one that was 1088.
With a heat sink?
Yeah.
Man, now you tell me.
And the potentiometer and a switch, which probably controls the direction.
Oh, man. Show me.
In a box?
Would the heat, he said in a box or just the heat sink on it?
No, it's just a heat. Yeah, it's the board with the heat sink.
Oh, okay. But not a box. Yeah, it looks like all the metal part of the back of the things that have need heat sinks, they're all flipped up and they're all one place. So if you had a piece of metal, you could slap it on there. You probably need to glue them or something. What do they do? Glue those on or?
Well, they use heat sink compound.
Yeah.
I've seen the silicone compound.
Yeah,
But
that's stuff.
you need something to hold it on. I guess you could, it has 4 holes where I guess you could clamp it on. I think I may have run into the issue of the heatsink because it is a little squirrely, that these are supposedly thermally protected.
That's why you may not be getting it to go as fast as it could go because it may be doing thermal shutdown.
It's going wide open. The anomaly I have noted is sometimes it don't go. You turn it up to 5 volts and it don't go. I thought I had a bad connection. And then I spun the wheel and I checked all my connections and I turned it up and eventually it took off. I said, oh, that's good. But if I take it and I turn it all the way down to 0, it's probably not going to start again. So yeah, there's something quirky going on. It's a 500 watt unit, and I'm sure I've touched them when they're operating. It's not warm. It's not warm. It's definitely not hot. It's a little bit tepid.
Less cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit less cool, not room temperature, but not hot by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm running them at no load.
Right.
And they're 500 watts, and then,
Well, the motor's only, I think, 350. The controller's good for up to 500, based on what eBay is saying.
These are probably 36 volts, rated for 36 volts. I'm running them at 24, so that's another option there.
The hoverboards run at 36.
So that's what's been going on. These are 6 pounds, 7 ounces, which was kind of a shocker, but okay. The motors, you can take the cover off. You see the coils around the inside.
How much does these cost?
Ray found them at the last meeting, and they were 2 for $40. And normally I priced them, you can get them $25, $28. $28 I think was the lowest price one.
What generates all this weight?
Ray's in Pittsburgh, Florida now, isn't he?
Metal, it's a motor. The other
No,
motor,
the magnets,
A magnet.
PCB magnets.
the magnets and coils of copper wire is not light either. And
You said that magnet's right in the center.
it's gonna be in the center because the coils are gonna be on the outside. There's probably a hub with multiple magnets on it, huh? It's heaviness, but these are rated supposedly for like 100 pounds weight
Yeah.
per wheel.
So that will easily carry any kind of garbage load that you'll have.
These things,
You are planning to move both trash cans simultaneously, the recycle and the
Yep.
and the garbage.
You're talking 60, 70,
I'm gonna have 4 wheels though.
60 or 70 pounds at most, usually.
Yeah, at most, because the maximum is my projected maximum payloads are like 150. That's where I was going to say, nah, I'm not going to
I
carry.
was thinking on how to make it with a single wheel, and using the 2 wheels of the trash can as the other wheels,
The 2 plastic wheels.
And
Well,
2 places, but
He's gonna have it on like a wagon.
He's got it on a platform.
Yeah,
Or you're gonna have
use some
you're gonna have the
pistons.
2,
Use the
like Ray said.
yeah,
small wheels to approach to the trash, and use the axe of the
that's a
wheels
cool picture.
and the handle to move.
Actually, the
degrees.
magnets are on the outside.
And this wheel in front of the cycle will move to the place and put
Oh, you're talking about-
the
Using it like a guide, pivot this
yes,
wheel.
like a bike, a bike or a single piece that turns using your actuator.
Okay.
And there is a platform here, like a triangle
Mhm.
with 2 how you call this wheel that
Casters.
moves? Casters. A couple of casters, very small. You
Uh-huh.
move to the trash can. There is some pieces here that when you push the handle and make an inclination of the full trash can, he goes the caster wheels goes up and don't touch the
Ground.
ground. And you have this wheel and both wheels of the trash can are the transporter system.
Oh, you're talking about for a single?
A single
Trash
one,
can.
yes.
Single trash can.
Oh, okay.
Ray
I
talked
see
about
what you're
putting the casters and having the 2
Let me make a
fishtail thing, where you had 2 sections.
Yeah.
He pulled it up the inside.
Oh, okay.
So actually, the magnets are on the outside of them,
Oh, they're on the
The wheels
outside.
of the wheel.
Oh, okay.
because that's the part that spins.
That's. All you need is a screwdriver to just open yours up and see if it matches that picture.
These guys are the magnets.
Oh, okay.
Those little rectangular,
Yeah,
yeah.
and this board has the Hall sensors on it.
Something like
There's, how many magnets are there? There's quite a few.
Yeah,
Since that's spinning on the outside, I guess that would make sense to have the magnets.
Get a lot more surface area out there.
There's at least 30. I may have missed one. But
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. The robot goes to pick the trash can with this bottom, and you need some actuator here to pull all the can forward
Mm-hmm.
to make all this thing goes over the three wheels, right? This two and this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you use your linear actuator here to move this maybe plus minus 30 degrees.
Mm-hmm. I see your concept there.
Yeah. And but you need to make it 2 trips to pick the
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with these lighter, you know.
And it's mechanical. You're getting me back into mechanical. That tricycle frame thing is mechanical, but yeah, it could use a trike actually, huh?
I write something in the Google Plus about to make it at scale. There are trash cans.
Yeah, I saw that. I wonder what the heck you're talking
pencil
about.
holders that
Uh-huh.
is the trash can at scale exactly.
Uh-huh.
You can
Okay.
design everything with small motors, develop all the programming and check it, and then make the big one.
Okay.
How would you construct that platform, a tricycle?
Hmm?
So how would you construct it? I'm just thinking when you want to do the real one. You know, do that with some steel that you're going to bend, or
Can use wood, steel, aluminum, pipes, PVC pipes, glue it. You can do with whatever you want. Yeah, will be a heavy battery close to the front wheel. And the challenge is to design the system that will pull the trash can pull and push the caster wheels up to have all the weight over the trash can wheels and the front wheel only. And you have a tricycle robot,
Okay.
only 3 wheels.
That's interesting.
what would you do with your wagon?
Throw it away. I won't throw it away anyway.
Oh,
If I use those motors,
We'll be
I'm-
using gardening.
See, the original spec was 2 devices, 2 trash can. We need to carry both of them. So this might be the path we want to take. And the other one is using this method. It's mechanically, I don't want mechanical. Mine's not going to be mechanical. I hate it. That's what I've been tinkering with for 2 years, fighting mechanical. Oh, hell no. The chain, oh no, I don't want a chain.
I can help.
I want to go forth with
Oh, yeah.
just a board, putting
I've been
2 of those
using
on
this for a
there.
while.
Because the software already,
found this-
it does 2 wheels. So I could easily adapt it for the servo. But it's actually,
using
the way
the,
I do it is,
motherboard out
the
of the
steering is
motherboard.
with 2 wheels. It's designed for 2 wheels. So that's not
They
an issue.
basically reverse engineered the protocol.
So we need a board
Protocol.
and
It's a type of.
a way to mount those, and I see how other people have mounted
No,
them.
it's the
They-
serial.
How you put the trash can
It's
in
at some
your
weird body.
row?
Oh,
By hand?
okay.
How do you put it on there?
yeah, have them lifted on.
You need to go and put
Because
on.
the-
and
The
motherboard
trash
has
the
a
trash
motor
cans are gonna
driver
be, the trash cans are gonna be
control processor.
on the platform initially, and you're gonna put the trash in the trash can while they're on the board.
Okay.
And then when,
My idea was just to say go and
Pick it up,
you pick up and.
then you gotta find it to pick it up, mechanic, but yeah. You could carry them one at a time up there. My idea is to just have a platform, and they're sitting on the platform, And if you can talk the garbage man to put it back on there when he's finished, dump them and put them back on there. Because you're an old guy, that's why we're doing it.
You'll give them an
I never
extra treat
see-
at
I never
Christmas.
see my trash can in the same place.
6,300.
But even at that, an old guy can,
Over, whatever.
my dad could pick up an empty trash can,
Yeah.
not a full
It's
one.
not as weird.
Give him a little more and he will
It could be.
compact the trash
Well,
can.
yeah, but it's not one of the
Yeah, and,
standard.
Yeah.
and picking it up when it's out there thrown on the floor sideways like mine is.
Then the lid blows into the
And the
road when
lid's
it's
gone.
windy.
So anyway, with that information.
What's that?
Yeah.
This guy,
So I've been looking at these motors for a while, and I found this project at some point.
Square trash
cans so
they don't roll when they hit the
It's a robot platform, and they're using the hoverboard motherboard. They reverse engineered the serial protocol to talk to it. So the motherboard's the equivalent of, two of those drivers.
Mhm.
Plus the battery,
Yeah.
charger, and
Everything
everything.
there.
Well, yeah, so
Okay.
if you start with a hoverboard, it's a good way to go. And I've seen hoverboards working ones on Craigslist for like $100. So I think that's still cheaper than the individual parts.
Okay, so it's got everything there. Now you're talking, I like the way you talk. It's got the whole thing, you can buy the whole dang thing. And
Yeah. So there's their little platform.
they've hacked it and they got the code for the Arduino.
It's on this GitHub.
Oh, okay.
they're using a teensy, aren't they?
Actually, yeah, I think they're using a TNC.
Those wheels are a lot bigger, aren't they?
No, it's the same. It just looks.
They look huge.
It's a different wheel,
No,
but
they
it's
are
the same
closer.
wheel.
They are closer and bigger.
Well, it's possible. Some of the hoverboards have 10-inch wheels, I think.
It's the same type of wheel.
But yeah.
I would agree. It looks like the same type, just bigger.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a different wheel, but it's the same type. It looks like the code that is written, and I've just seen it just now. It looks like it's for a teensy board, but teensy is, you can program it with the Arduino IDE, so they're probably using it by teensy 3. Does it say?
Yeah, which one? Get out of the code.
Does the Teensy convert to Arduino?
More or less. It's, you program it with the Arduino IDE. Teensy is, it's a 32-bit,
Yeah, it's an ARM. It's one of the
Yeah.
free-scale ARMs.
it's a 32-bit processor. It's,
Is it using libraries?
Doesn't look like it.
Cool.
maybe it's a,
Can you send me the link for that?
Yeah.
Link to that? Hoverboard. Does anybody want to develop convert that to Arduino and take that on as a project? Take that, put that together as a mini project. I'd get the hardware for you, and you could develop convert it to Arduino, and then what is that one we use? We don't use the Uno, we use the next one up,
Okay,
the Mega. Convert it to Mega?
well,
the same stuff.
depending on how he actually's got this, he's doing some port manipulation or something.
Yeah, I was trying to dig down and see
He's got to be doing some port manipulation or something. It's probably going to run on. It may run on any of the STM32F103. So
I don't know if he's using a UART directly or if he's bit banging it.
What's that?
It looked like it was bitbang. I saw something up there somewhere that said bitbang, but I don't know. Got to be doing something funky because, like you said, that's not a standard.
But see,
Sure.
I'm
Well, but
40.
you can set it.
Okay. I'm 40, 50. I'm $60 in, and it's done. I'm done. The code's already there. All I got to do is connect the, do a couple analog outs to this guy, and you PWM. Has he got something that's really easy and cheap and stupid?
Well, you still would need most of a hoverboard. So, I mean, you need the main controller board, which you can buy. I think they're like $30 on eBay. But it's
3 available hardware. It's 9-bit support on the Arduino core, which is added from PJRC, who made the Teensy. So I don't think you're going. I think you're going to keep that on a Teensy. I think that was specifically written for that Teensy controller.
Okay.
I don't think you're going. I think it's going to be real hard to change it.
Yeah.
It does look like he's using some. I can barely read it. DI UART from PJRC. If you add that into the core.
TD. Yeah, it's using the hardware UARTs on the Teensy.
Yeah.
And there's a separate.
Might be able to do it with just a generic STM32 103.
Probably.
But that was pretty much written for what it is. We've got some STM32 103s.
Mhm.
Yeah. We bought a number of them. Just generic ones.
But anyway, that's just, another way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
Since you already have the motors and speed controllers, this is probably not what you want to do. But if you were starting over again, because the hoverboard gives you the battery as well. If you just start with a used hoverboard, you get the wheels, the battery, the motherboard.
Okay, and we start this like we just started all over. This is probably the third or fourth iteration of starting all over. That's not a problem. What my criteria is, I want it to be inexpensive, of course. I want it to be simple. Okay, so if somebody wanted to build one of these, they could. Okay, and it wouldn't be complex. And I want it to be standard parts. Okay, so you don't have, if they change the model on the hoverboard and they use a different controller board, you're not.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with using something like a hoverboard, because you have no control over when they might change something.
Okay. So
you're not guaranteed to even get those wheels for any extended period of time. Maybe you will, because they're making bazillions of them.
Yeah.
At some point,
the wheels look like they're a standard. All of them I see have the same 3 power wires and this.
Well, there's all unless they build. I mean, there are some hub motors that have the controller built into them, and then it's a different connection. But most of them, the hoverboards are using these kind of bare bone brushless motors.
And this controller thing is pretty lame. They're smart. They got the 5-volt supply built in from the 12 volts. You know, they did that. So and it looks like there are multiple suppliers of it. So, you know, that sort of thing is what passes through my mind. And it has to be somebody where a knucklehead like myself can put one of these together if they had the right instruction. And this is lame. Because the controller, you order the 2 controller boards, you order that, and you take the little code that I wrote for the Arduino, and you're done. All I got to do, I got the remaining thing to do is to, besides the mechanical stuff, is to get analog out that's ripple free, and that should be pretty easy from PWM. And it looks like the controller they're using isn't, when you set it to 5 volts to go full speed, it doesn't jump. Like a standard DC motor, if you put it to full speed, it's going to jump out of its skin. That ramped up.
Right. It pretty much has to, because it's not a DC motor. It's not a regular brushed DC motor.
The DC motor, you could put it at full speed. It's going to go
right.
It's going to send the pulses out, but this doesn't change the pulse rate rapidly. So it must be in the controller, because you can have it on 5 volts and turn it on and it ramps up. So that's built into the controller. We don't have to worry about that. So these guys got this nailed down. This is easy stuff. But that's a good find. That stuff like that would be good if they'd done that with an Arduino interface. I'd be, holy cow.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Mega has multiple serial ports, so it might be able to do it.
The Dewey is 32-bit though.
Yeah, I
have
think
something
need
to
the
do.
32-bit part. I think
Oh no.
it's what the guy had multiple serial ports.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure the AVRs can do 9-bit serial.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, think about that. Think about that as an option. I still want it to be simple, and I still want it to be where if they change the design, you're not, and that's our weakness, I think, here.
Yeah.
But think about it. And maybe somebody wants to go down that direction while I'm
I don't
running
use
down
9-bit
this.
serial. So.
But this is so brain dead and took away a lot of the mechanical. The next thing is mechanical is this is a pretty hefty shaft here. Okay, I got to put something around it. And the way they did it on the previous one, they had a half circle, a cut around part, and they bolted on a block that fit right across there.
Yeah.
And they had 4 large screws holding that together. Probably 5/8 plyboard and a nice 5/8 block with some 1/4-inch bolts might keep that in place. It'd be nicer if it were a steel plate, but
again, when you start with the hoverboard, it has that. They have those blocks for holding it. Yeah.
Okay. And this is simple. The one wheel is very attractive, but it's a little off the original direction. Although it may be a variant for single, that could be an option for the single carrier. Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about today? We had Leroy's been talking about his new phone, his Moto E, and I got a link to the Moto E phone. He's gotten good service. I'm kind of considering it because my G is getting old.
Does that Moto E, does it have all those attachments that you can?
No.
No, that's a Z.
Okay. I see the commercials for the one with the attachments.
That's not the $100 one now.
That's the
It looks like
way up.
the Arduino can do 9-bit, but you gotta change the registers to do it.
Yeah, there's probably not a library that supports it directly.
Sounds like
Question.
work.
That looks like me, strangely enough.
Sounds like something.
Popping out eyes.
I wouldn't screw with the Mega, I'd go with one of this. The Blue Pill 103s, F103s, because they're cheap.
They're cheap.
I want something, again, the main thing is readily available, everybody knows about them, everybody knows about their Arduino. Even I know about the Arduino, so everybody can find these guys now, hopefully. And, it's just, and everybody can get code, you can get an IDE for it, and everything's wonderful. So there's a link to the Moto E page. There's some crabbing in the article about and we talked about this, the camera taking pictures in the bright picture when you're bright sun. And we found out we don't take that many bright pictures in the bright sun, but it's cheap and fast. It seems to be.
Now, where do you have that Moto E hooked up?
What?
Where do you have that?
Republic. I think it's $30 for the 1 GB plan.
20.
Or is it?
Oh, Republic. Yeah, I got friends in Columbus that are on Republic.
Or is it $18 for the one?
It's 20
It's $20 for the
20.
1 gig plan.
plus tax. They charge you tax.
Oh, okay.
Works out to like $22.50 or something like that.
$22.50 a month for the
Not too bad.
service and the Moto E. And who services them?
Sprint and they've got 2 providers now.
T-Mobile?
Spring and T-Mobile will merge, I think, this month. I read about that. They are planning to merge.
Now Sprint used to be what, CDSM or something? And now they're converting or something? What's the
Oh,
deal?
they're the CMDA, yeah.
Sprint used to be CMDA, didn't they? And they were kind of holdouts.
AT&T and T-Mobile were GSM. And then Verizon and Sprint were CDMA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And still, well, Verizon still is, as far as I know. I don't know if they're switching or not.
I don't know if they've switched or not either. I think there's probably.
Nobody's winning on that? That's just everybody's going to continue?
Well, the rest of the world is GSM. So
Okay.
different frequencies, but most of the phones are multi-band
Yeah.
and will work anywhere. But yeah, the only people still using CDMA is here in the US.
Yeah, we're still backwards.
Well, it's
Yeah.
partly that and partly the fact they build out a huge infrastructure. They
They
can't
did.
just easily and cheaply change it. So
That's the real problem. The 2 big ones built their whole entire system on this infrastructure, and now it's changed. And they don't want to spend money to change it. They don't want to spend money to maintain it.
and they can't, you can't just partially update it either. It's all or nothing.
Pretty much. That's the real problem.
So by 2020, the 5G is supposed to be out, and AT&T is talking about putting their TV on 5G. And you're starting to see routers that are rated 4G. 4G routers for your home. So I think we see where some people are going to use cell phone service for IP.
Well, the guy that ran Comcast last year, he said that's the way it's going. The future.
Now, what's the throughput of 4G for the internet service?
Probably the radio frequency has a limit space for that, you know.
Yeah. Well, they're
Using-
proposing new
using-
frequencies and stuff for 5G. The 4G, what do we have today? 4G LTE, what kind of internet throughput can I expect out of 4G?
You can have several subscribers, but if you massify it, the speed will go down because it's a limited bandwidth.
Limited bandwidth, so the number of users is gonna drag that
I think
down.
that always will be placed for the optical cable, you know, because there is a huge difference in the
Yeah, in the throughput.
the
They're talking about running TV through 5G, and that's gonna be big bandwidth.
It's a matter of time to fill it up.
Okay, but they're supposedly beta testing it now. They're looking for a bunch of frequencies. I don't know if they have them yet.
Imagine in a city with thousands of people close,
Yeah, exactly.
each one wanting to see something different.
Yeah.
A lot of streaming, data streaming.
Now here's the deal too. It's not coming in on one cable because it's going to be you have
Will be a broadcast.
repeaters everywhere.
Okay.
So it's going to be the bandwidth to the repeaters is going to be a big issue, and the covered by that repeater, how much bandwidth can that repeater do? And are they?
I mean, everyone will be seeing the same program. If not, there is a lot of data moving.
It's going to use. Oh, okay.
Each
So
one
you're
is seeing
saying,
a different
Yeah.
movie or something.
Yeah.
Filling up all the bandwidth.
how are they going to do it? That's what AT&T is talking about doing for their TV service.
But this is a broadcast, just one signal, just one image for everybody seeing the same thing.
Well,
no,
works
it's
this way.
digital. I mean, I would think they're talking about like DirecTV.
Yeah.
And,
They say
Multiple
DirecTV
channels.
is going to be over there. So they
Yeah,
got to support bunches of you're not going to come back to one TV channel or even three. I wouldn't go. Nobody's going to go for that.
I don't need 300 like they have half the channels, or I don't watch those.
But what you're saying is, I agree 100%. For that bandwidth, I don't know how they're going to do it. But I can see how their approach might be. If I were trying to do that, I'd say, okay, my bandwidth to the repeaters is going to be the issue. That can be microwave or fiber to get the big bandwidth. And then if you have 100,000 people around one cell tower, that's a bunch of bandwidth. Over the RF, I don't see it. I don't see it myself.
Yeah.
Unless they can find some efficient way of streaming and they lock you down. Here's how you can watch it live.
I'm
It's
getting ready
like
to send it to him.
it's like
CC.
Sure.
satellite now. You got 300 channels,
Yeah.
and you got a receiver to pick out 3 receivers or 4 receivers. What about that? And then if somebody wants to see channel 347, then it's just gonna be broadcast.
But actually, all the channels are being broadcast at the same time.
LF number
You are just selecting
What you
Color.
view.
the
Exactly.
receiver,
27
Yeah.
which channel you want to see.
at
But
2.
all the data is there.
Okay, the bandwidth is there, but it's basically at microwave frequencies. So you're talking about the satellite frequencies are 300 megabits wide,
Yeah, pretty wide.
300 meg. But you're talking about 3 gigahertz or What? They're talking about using,
It's very high frequency.
Very-
That's why
even
when
higher-
there is, when it's raining or any
Cloudy.
problem, yes, you have a poor signal.
but this,
Very high
remember, this is
frequency.
gonna be to the next repeater. This is gonna be broadcast from your repeater. So it's, your repeaters are gonna be like satellites now.
But the repeaters will be on the ground.
Yeah,
The satellite is.
they're already here. The repeaters are already
Satellites
here.
use dishes and
No, they're gonna
line
do-
of signal.
Oh, okay, yeah. That,
In the ground,
oh, there's the
You will
idea.
hit-
Here's
hearing and everything, and your signal disappear very quickly.
What's disappearing?
The signal, the satellite signal, the
here's
ground can go from one place to another if there is a building or something.
yeah.
in the
Okay.
middle.
So here's the deal.
You
Here's
can direct.
here's my scheme. Okay, I got a satellite that's going to be broadcasting.
The dish pointing exactly to the satellite.
No. Wait. Listen to what I'm saying. I got a satellite. Okay, and I got a repeater. Okay, I got a repeater, not an individual, a repeater. The satellite's going to pick up the repeater signal, and if I'm talking to a repeater, I can jack my power up and be directive somewhat too. Okay, because I'm not hitting everyone. And I have a big dish at the repeater, which we haven't. You can't have big dishes at every
But this
house.
repeater will repeat in RF or will use cable.
Either one. But I'm saying they're going. It'll be a cell phone. It's a cell phone repeater. I got it. We got this cracked, man. Somebody as smart as me. Can you believe that? No, this is the dumb guy's resolution. Satellite up here, and then we got the cell phone
ground
towers.
station.
I'd say I meant cell phone towers. Okay, and the satellite, and we're gonna have a big dish here. The problem we have now, the spec for the dish is small, so we can have a bigger dish or multiple dishes easily.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need probably 300. How much bandwidth we gonna need? 100
I
meg.
don't have the numbers.
How much do we have for the? How much? What's the bandwidth for the house?
So you can have hundreds of channels
Okay,
of
well, let's say 300 channels.
5 gigabits each. 5 giga for by
So-
300.
We're already doing this to the home with a small dish. We're doing 300 channels. We're doing 1,000 channels to the home.
But the direct line of sight.
Direct line of sight, absolutely. Okay, so now if we do 300 gig